Now, we also just heard that Donald Trump has just announced he will be posthumously awarding the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk. The FBI has given an update in the last hour on the ongoing manhunt for the killer of the US conservative activist. The suspect at this stage remains at large, but officials claim that he appears to be of college age and they have been able to track his movements across the campus. James Matthews has the latest of the situation from Utah.
It sounds like they do have a lot to go on. Video footage clearly at the centre of the investigation at this stage. They spoke about confidence. That says to me that they have good video in terms of identification. They were able to say it was a male and of college age. So to make that statement tells me that they have seen, well, quite a lot of the individual concerned. This individual, he arrived on campus at 11:52. That's 28 minutes before the shooting took place. They spoke about him having entered campus, mingling with students, and then went to this rooftop shooting location, moved to the other side, having fired the shot, jumped off, fled in towards a neighbourhood. They spoke about the high-powered rifle being recovered in Woodland. They have that foot impression, also a palm print and a forearm impression. So they have a lot to go on, Jane, and clearly in terms of investigations, they took place here. They took place in rooms like this as agents went door to door trying to establish who the individual was, where they were, and what further threat they posed. They are saying they don't reckon there's any further threat to the community, talking about this as a targeted act. You heard the FBI special agent. He didn't commit to a motivation for this attack, but he did say that they didn't condone an attack on the First Amendment, freedom of speech. So leaning towards what we've heard already, that there was a political motive to all of this. But of course, until they find out who was responsible, question them, then they don't have the motive related firsthand. So college age, you know, this is a place where students tended to be rather older. A large portion of the student population was kind of mid-20s and upwards. So that doesn't necessarily pin it down to the 18 to 22 age bracket. But investigations clearly local at this stage in terms of video footage, if nothing else. They are speaking to people in the neighbourhood, essentially tracking the route that they guess at this stage the shooter would have taken and looking for any kind of information, particularly video footage along that route. That will be the principal area of inquiry, and from there it will fan out. But they escaped on foot into the neighbourhood, I suppose. You know, they'll be looking for video footage that shows his face. They'll be looking for footage that shows a vehicle, perhaps. And then, of course, the search extends. Was he on foot? Did he get into a vehicle? If he did, then it's a matter of checking registration plate recognition software and also CCTV to check the roads, to check for any associated vehicle. But that's where they are at the moment. They seem confident. You know, they'll be getting the palm print, they'll be looking at the features such as they are, and of course in the first instance they'll be trying to match that to anybody that is already in the system. Clearly they had a degree of talent in terms of shooting. This rooftop from where the shot was fired was more than 100 yards. The authorities have said that. My understanding is it could be double that. So they shot from quite a distance. No answer on the security arrangements that were in place. Remember, Donald Trump, the president, was shot from a rooftop at his rally. Much recrimination after that. My question was, well, given the history, was there a check on the rooftop? Was there ongoing monitoring of the rooftops around? They weren't able to answer that question, but that remains that remains one for the longer term than the immediate priority, which of course is finding the killer and eliminating any further threat that exists.